ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ Namaste, all of you. Welcome back to our continuing study of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha from the pages of Poojya Swamiji's, Poojya Swami Dayananda Saraswati's Gita course. In these sessions, we are together exploring chapter 17 of Shrimad Bhagawad Geetha titled Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. A chapter that begins with Lord Krishna's answering Arjuna's question about the nature of Shraddha. In people who are not conversant or well versed in the scriptural teachings and injunctions. Krishna began the chapter by answering Arjuna's question about the three types of Shraddha. And later, in the seventh shloka of this chapter, Krishna also offered to teach Arjuna and through Arjuna, all of us, four more topics, bonus topics as it were. And Krishna beautifully enumerates them. Vyasacharya enumerates them in the seventh shloka of this chapter, which runs like this: Aharastvapi sarvasya trividho bhavati priyah yajnastapastatha danam tesham bhedamimam shrunu. Ahara, yajna, tapaha, and danam are the four topics that Krishna voluntarily teaches Arjuna about, again from the standpoint of the three gunas: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Of the four topics, we have looked at the topic of ahara, meaning food from the standpoint of the three gunas; yajna, mainly Vedic rituals from again the standpoint of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Then tapas, three types of tapas, not only from the standpoint of the three gunas, but also from the standpoint of the three karanams: shariram tapas, vachikam tapas, and manasam tapas. Each looked at from the standpoint of the three gunas, meaning 3 into 3, 9 types of tapas. We completed the topic of tapas with the 19th shloka, the tamasam tapas. Now we are entering the final of the four topics that Krishna talked about, and that is Dhanam, an important topic, equally important topic, which will be covered in shlokas 20, 21, and 22 from the standpoint of the three gunas. Let us begin our study of the topic of Dhanam and hear from Poojya Swamiji how to understand this topic. Shloka number 20, Satvika Dana. Satvika Dana. I will recite the shloka. We will look at the word to word meaning, the running meaning, and then we will move on to the commentary as we do always. दातव्यमिति यद्दानं दीयतेनुपकारिणे देशे काले च पात्रे च तद्दानं सात्विकं स्मृतम्. Now for the word to word meaning. Yat danam, the charity which datavyamiti, datavyamiti, with the attitude that it is to be given. It is to be given. It has to be done. Anupakarine, to one from whom one does not expect a return. The dhanam is to be done towards a person from whom one does not expect a return. Anupakarine, deshe, in the proper place. Kalecha, and at the proper time. Patrecha, and to a worthy recipient. To a worthy recipient. Diyate is given. Tat danam, that charity. Satvikam smritam. Satvikam smritam is considered satvika. That charity which is given to one from whom one does not expect a return, in the proper place, at the proper time, and to a worthy recipient, thinking it is to be given. That is dhanam for dhanam's sake. Is considered satvika charity. It's considered satvika charity. Interestingly, if you make a comparative study of Shloka number 11, in which we talked about Satviki rituals. The Shloka says, Aphala kankshibhir yajnaha vidhi drishto ya ijyate yashtavyameveti manaha samadhaya sa satvikaha. A ritual that is done because it is prescribed in the Shastras. Yashtavyam, it has to be done. Likewise, datavyam, very interesting. It has to be given in charity. Yashtavyam and datavyam. Datavyam iti, yashtavyameveti. Both are to be done because there is an injunction that Shraddhaya deyam, deyam, give in charity. Very interesting to make a comparative study between all the Satviki actions, Rajasic actions, and Tamasic actions. This will be continued by Krishna in the 18th chapter also. Very interesting. So let's get into the commentary and hear from Poojya Swamiji what he has to say about this shloka. Charity that is given with the attitude, it is to be given. This charity has to be done by me. Datavyamiti is satvika dana. Is satvika dana. A particular situation calls for giving, and that gives rise to the response, this is to be given by me. Period. Giving because it has been enjoined. Shastra says so, and therefore I have to. They remind me that I have to give. Period. Like the appreciation of Karma Yoga. This is to be done by me. The Panchamaha Yajnas have to be done by me. There's no option. There's no choice. They have been laid down as rules and regulations to be followed by a serious spiritual seeker. Period. The same attitude extended to giving when it is to be done is charity. The same attitude extended to giving when it is to be done is charity. This is also therefore Karma Yoga. Yashtavyameveti manaha. What is given may be some article, or it may be some help extended in the form of effort. It is the attitude with which it is done that makes giving satvika. Very important, the bhavana. Satkarma, sadgunaha, sadbhavana. It is the attitude with which it is done that makes giving satvika. Very important to be written in stone in our hearts, written deeply engraved in our hearts. Whether it is satvika or not is also determined by the kind of person to whom it is given. Whether it is satvika or not is also determined by the kind of person to whom it is given. Charity that is satvika, is that given to a person whom you do not expect to help you in return. Charity that is satvika is that given to a person whom you do not expect to help you in return. Anupakarine yat diyate. Anupakarine yat diyate. Shankara says this can be a person who is incapable of returning your help. Like someone very old or feeble or impoverished, whose circumstances are not likely to improve much. It is clearly a one way giving. It is clearly a one way giving. But he says that this type of charity is also given to someone who is capable of returning the aid. With no expectation of return. This type of charity is also given to someone who is capable of returning. In the first case, charity was talked about as giving to someone who is incapable of returning. Here we are talking about a person who is capable of returning your charitable act, but is done with no expectation of return. Even if the person who receives your charity is capable of returning, the charity is done with no expectation of return. Even though he is capable of giving, you do not expect him to return your help. That is called dana. That is truly called dana. Otherwise, it becomes an investment. Only dana that is given without any expectation of return, even thanks, is real giving. Only dana that is given without any expectation of return, even a thank you from the receiver, is real giving. People often complain, I gave him a gift and he did not even thank me. Or they say, he never remembers me. He never writes. This attitude is a problem. This attitude is a problem. Here, however, even though the person to whom you give is capable of giving back, that is not the expectation. In the case of Satvika Danam, it is said that when you give with the right hand, the left hand need not know. What is given is totally forgotten. What is given is totally forgotten. That is real giving. That is real giving and is called here Satvika Dana. Satvika Dana. We will continue our study of this very important and significant portion of the 17th chapter in the upcoming capsules and take it forward. Hari Om.